goes my life. The things that I go through every single day, it's just, sometimes life can just be one hell of a turnaround, to be honest. The things that I go through, it can just be filled of good things and bad things. But today, I officially tell my side of the story of what has been happening, the things that I could have done better. Sometimes things are not my fault, and it can be someone else's. I have one pity thing that I can literally go for to pin it on someone else, but that's not who I am. There could be a mix of good and bad influence of people who I'm surrounded by. They have both, most likely. Like, I've tried being nice, I've tried to be the voice of reason, but sometimes when I try to be that, I get laughed at. And it kind of hurts my feelings because I have sensitive emotions when it comes to stuff like this. There wasn't that many people who would check up on me. Only one person in a couple would. But now today, I'm officially telling my side of the story, what happened, where I've been, why I almost did it, and what can happen going henceforth. Well, this is the first time I'm finally doing this. Cannot believe this is what I have to do, but I must do it. For my own sanity, for my own conspiracy, for everything. I haven't done this in a minute, but I'm kind of nervous to do this. But here we are once again. Can I believe that it has to come this way? It's been a hot minute since I've actually done something like this, but people out there have been wondering, where has Ron go? He hasn't been here in a hot minute, and to answer that, there are a lot of things I need to address, because it's like there have been a lot of things going on in my life. There have been a lot of things that has been transpiring onto my personal mental health, and that it could just readjust itself into a whole another conspiracy, and that it can totally bring some stuff down, which is kind of unfortunate. But at the same time, I have to take some sort of breaks for my own personal sanity, because it kind of have been through the roof for a hot minute, honestly. But I can definitely address everything I can just put out there. So to top things through, what I have been through has been a lot of significant reoccurring events that I have been through throughout my childhood, since I was little, and then it spewed on to my preteens years, and then it just went on to my teenage years, which is kind of unfortunate. And then my teenage years is actually the main one that actually kind of done it for me, that it just kind of spew on to my adulthood that I'm in right now, because I'm 21 years old, still in this little predicted of an environment, which is kind of unfortunate. But at the same time, I'm kind of having a lucky thing happening. I've been gone for a hot minute. I actually wanted to do some collective hearing on some things, and that I needed to just get away and get myself together again, because I've been in a spiral of many things that I did not want to go through, but I'm kind of forced to go through because I'm in that that kind of lifestyle that I just don't want to feel like I just wanted to be in. It could easily just put me in a bad space that I'm in right now. That kind of thing can easily happen to one another. So what had happened was that I had some sort of mental breakdown. And why did I have that mental breakdown? Because I almost took my own life. I did. I'm not happy about it. I am not in a good space to even think on that, because I just keep on thinking about that sometimes. And although I'm kind of doing a little bit of mentally, kind of doing well, I'm not all the way there, because I still need to get some sort of help, because I still don't feel like I'm in the right space to even talk about things like this. Even though it's easy to open up to you guys, because I have no one else to open to right now. There are a lot of things that I want to uncover here, because it's just been I'm getting, honestly, in my opinion, sick and tired of dealing with all this kind of stuff, and the lifestyle that I've just been jumping throughout many occasions. It just continues to predict onto my life, and then try to affect other lives as well, which I'm not proud of, because it could easily just be manipulated and controlled by a certain someone that can easily just put it all through the worst things and to just like make it into like a one big thing that's not even supposed to be like that. Okay, how do I put this into proper wording? Because I don't know what to say. I just don't feel that comfortable talking about it because that kind of event is what kind of led me into trying to myself, you know what I'm saying? Just like, it just wasn't like the way it was kind of going, or it could be like that, honestly. But it was just that day was kind of like the day that I just felt like I just can't handle it no more because of you already know. I'm not even comfortable saying their name, but to that person, I want to go ahead and refer to that person. That kind of rhymes with Chad. Kind of like give it away a little position that could be like in a proper wording, but those who know me personally, you guys already know who I'm talking about. I told my brother, and then we had like a talk before that day, and he basically kind of said that the only reason I'm keep on going for this lifestyle is because I'm a quote unquote hateful person. And to some extent, he kind of isn't wrong, but at the same time, he kind of is, because I'm not like really that much of a hateful person. I mean, I could basically say that I'm sarcastically saying like, haha, I'm kind of a hateful person when it comes to people, because people just don't like to, people get on my nerves all the time, and that they just like to get on my nerves and just get on my bad side, because you already know how people are nowadays. To those out there watching, it just depends. Like, you can just like basically get on that person's bad side because you just want to keep on teasing them all the time, and it can just blow into like one big proportion, which is kind of unfortunate. But, that just kind of happens with me. Like, the way that they try to cross my way, it's just not going to end well. I'm being real with that. But at the same time, yeah, it was basically like we kind of agreed. It just wasn't, like, right for me. And then my brother, I got on FaceTime, and I told him about it. I was crying, and I basically told him that I think it's just, like, it's time for me to go because I don't feel like being here no more. I was having, like, a big mental breakdown, and I just went through this, and it just went terribly wrong that I did not want to go for it, because me going through that, you already know I have like sensitive feelings, and it's not my fault. This is something that I had at birth, and it kind of transpired onto me. Basically just part of my life now, because I'm going to just sometimes take it to the chin, sometimes I don't. But at the same time, sensitivity just runs in my blood. It kind of runs in the family throughout the things that I go for. Basically what that means is that whenever I try to like say some things, and that whenever I try to be like the voice of reason, like I told you guys earlier, when I become like the voice of reason, they just laugh at me, and it just be like, that's just not cool, honestly. That means I got like no one to talk to at all. I just be by myself, listen to music to try and calm things down. To me, that kind of lifestyle does not kind of run in my predicament. It is just like, even though I've been through a phase once, and I'm kind of like scared to admit this, like I've been through it once, I got in trouble for it. It wasn't the best idea, but it was just like a phase I was going through. That wasn't actually part of my lifestyle. I was 16 when it happened, and being 16 during those types of years, I've already gone through some sort of loss, and it just kind of like transpired onto me. I was like, yeah, that's kind of like a phase I was going through. Parents couldn't even tell, obviously, because they can't tell almost anything nowadays, especially for their kind of age. I just think that like, just like the lifestyle that I've been living just kind of like not it for me. So it's just like I'm trying to go for like a big change, trying to make better improvements. And my brother basically told me that like the only way I can improve is I can like show it to everyone. And I'm kind of like, I don't have to literally show it to anyone that I can. Like, I don't know if I even want to even show it to people, because I'm not trying to prove anything. I'm trying to prove that to myself, not others, because proving it to others is kind of make it feel like that they're the winners. And my brother kind of basically told me it's like, there's not trying to make them feel like winners. It's basically making everyone a winner. No, in my opinion, I just want to think that like, it's just for the best of me. So anyways, me and this person have kind of been at odds for like a very long time. Unfortunately, it's in a close circle, that I could say. Subliminal messaging. Basically, I kind of did something that was kind of profoundly stupid, but like that person handle it was not supposed to be on my good side of the radar, because it's like that person was raised in like a horrendous environment, I should say. I think that's kind of like the best word. So they were raised in a horrendous environment, and that kind of transpired onto the things that I've done during that day. You already know the kind of day that I'm like talking about. And I basically just kind of did something stupid. They didn't handle it right, and from that point forward, it kind of make it officially kind of mark that it's officially over between us. And I think we've kind of been at like a silent war for a while. It's like we've been at silent war, basically, that I kind of insinuated because I didn't take it kindly. and neither did they. Like they didn't make it easier, so they kind of like put it in like a little bad predicament, and I kind of sent it to like a silent war against us, most likely meaning that one of us can actually know about that while the other person doesn't. But for what I'm thinking, it was basically like it's basically like I told my brother this, and he basically saying that I was basically telling him that I think they kind of know about it now, but they don't want to acknowledge it because they like kind of have like a little bit of a fragile ego, as you would say, that they would know about that now. It's like they don't want to acknowledge it because, you know, it could easily escalate into like a bad thing sometime in the nearby future. But most likely I told my brother that unfortunately sometime in the future, that when I finally get out and cut this specific person off, I could basically like envision sometime in the future that me and this person might get into like a big escalation that could just like go bad, and that it could easily go for both of us most likely exposing each other. And unfortunately the family is gonna have to go through that. They're gonna have to just experience it, most likely just sit back and watch while me and that person goes back and forth in a little battle, most likely. But you know, most likely for what I think, or the only way that can actually be prevented, is that person just don't have contact with me anymore. And if they try to have some sort of more personal contact on the bad side of things, then unfortunately I might take unlikely to that, and that it will probably like escalate between us, and most likely it'll probably have both of our reputations in question. But I did tell my brother that if I kind of do have my cards played right, and I actually do the right thing to tell the truth and let everyone know that this is what this is all about, then I kind of might get the win in that. But you know, it's just that like throughout the history of my life and the things I've just gone through during my childhood, just a lot of things good and bad, but mainly it was kind of like mixed in like a parlay, if you get what I'm saying. Basically it's just like more of the bad side of things, but whenever I'm not around the fam, then it's just basically good, because it's like I just have my answers questioned from the peoples that let me know from their experience, basically telling me that this happened to them as well. That's just how the dice rolls. But you know, I just try my best, and honestly, there are some things that need to be changed around here for not only myself, but for the ones around me, because it just can't be like this anymore, and it's just gonna cause me to cut some amount of people off that I don't want to cut off. But if it actually goes down that toll, then I'm gonna be forced to do that, because it's just, I want to better myself, my mental health, and my lifestyle. Because if they don't want to even think about going for that kind of thing, then I'm just gonna have to just cut them off at that point. You know, better for my mental health, better for the ones around me, for, you know, people that I want to care for, because there aren't that many much left. Because there are some people who I actually do have a close relationship with, most likely mainly my brother first. The thing about me and my brother is that I would always tell my brother everything whenever it comes to situations, because most likely the older folks here in this family don't kind of want to get what I'm saying, and he does, most likely, because he does understand me. He does get me. He tells me from his experience, but most likely he tries to like sidetrack it off and tell me some things, most likely that I don't want to hear, but I'm going to be having to hear it, which I guess that's fine. And he's not even a bad brother too, you know, but sometimes I could be like side-eyeing him whenever it comes to some things that I don't like. Like he could do something that I don't like, and I might be side-eyeing him sometimes. It's like, I don't know. It's like, I do trust my brother 100%, but at the same time, you know, I could never know what he could do or say or whatever, that I have to keep like a close eye on him. Because I've been telling him that multiple times, like, I'm kind of like side-eyeing you from like a mile away due to the purpose of you doing some things or doing whatever that I don't like, and that I don't know if I could trust you anymore. Most likely he better not do that ever again, in my opinion, because you already know, just like, we've been having our sort of back and forths as well. We be having that almost every day. When he first came to the house again, we went out to like go to the mall, and then we just went to like a park. This one place, it's called the Waverly Park, that we just went on a trail. We went to go see like some sort of dead fishes there at the pond, and that we he taught me basically to keep on driving, because I have like a driver's permit and not a license yet at the age of 21, like I told you guys before in my previous video. A 21-year-old man getting his driver's license when it could have been 5 years ago is crazy work. But I digress. There's some people who still get their driver's license at 40 years old, so I can't put the blame on us like that, even though I'm not 40 years old, but still. And basically, you know, it's like we have a good relationship, you know, that's my brother. Always got love for him, you always got love for me. That's just how it goes. You know, I just keep on going for the jugular to think that if I can handle this family right, or if I don't, or at the same time I'm going to be stuck with them whenever it comes to some certain situations, or whenever it comes to like some sort of people around here that just have like a mixed personality whenever it comes to like there's some sort of an analogy or personality whenever it comes to like they come from like the hood or they like acting badass or something like that, and then it could just be like I guess like hood street, like I don't know anymore. Like I just like go for those kind of things that they keep on showing around me, and it could easily be influenced onto my life, which it kind of already has, but luckily I was able to escape that, because that's like, I don't want to be like this, you know. My mom got us out of the hood, and that's one thing that I'll always be grateful for. All of us are like generations apart, you know. There's some millennials, there's some baby boomers, busters, and then of course me and my brother were Gen Zers. Like that's one thing I might talk about in the future, about something that could happen in 2027, because Gen Z turns, like the very beginning of Gen Z, who was born 97, turns 30. They do turn 30 in 2027 because they were born 97. Obviously they do. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. You know, today it's just like me finally coming back and explaining my side of the story. Why me and this person most likely won't ever be on good terms ever again, and at some time in the future it could easily escalate if that person don't leave me alone. Honestly, it's like, it's just basically, if that just ever happens, then I need to play my cards right, because I have things that I do know from the other person that I'm not gonna tell, because that's kind of like me in secret that I only know about, and that one day in the future, if it escalates, then I have everything that I need, and it can just like vary opinions for not only this family, but for everyone else as well, because, you know, I don't want that to escalate, but most likely if I am forced to have that sort of thing happen, then it's gonna happen. Like, unfortunately, it's just gonna happen, honestly. You know, like, I don't want it to happen, but at the same time, I'm gonna have to force my hand upon that and then basically say, fuck it, I'm just gonna go ahead and just do it anyways, because I don't care no more. It's like, you don't leave me alone, then this is what's gonna happen. You know, I just don't play about that kind of stuff. But yeah, I just wanted to pop up on here and just say I'm sorry for basically everything to those out there who know me personally, and to those who watch me. Basically, I just want to pop on here and just let it be known that I will change my lifestyle. I will change things for myself for the better and the ones around me, so that I can actually form good, healthy relationships, because I actually have irreparable damage with some, and mainly one that I will never let go, because unfortunately that relationship is just basically like permanently damaged forever. You know, like there's no way that me and that person will ever get on great terms ever again, which is unfortunate, but you know, they made it happen and I have to join in on that action, which is kind of unfortunate. And you know, I guess just pop out once again. There are some things that I want to change for my rightful purpose when it comes to me being social. Basically meaning that I will finally pop back out and actually get things straight, you know, go out there, seek some help, and actually talk to people finally, because I've been in like this sort of replaceable shell that I just keep on replacing every single day here in the house, because I've been cooped up here honestly for the last 3 years. But you know, I just want to enjoy life again. You know, that's what me and my brother was doing, because I was telling him while we were out, like, I actually wanted to keep on doing this with him, because I got like no one else to do it with. Most likely I could do it with my family, but at the same time, you know, I just don't know what's gonna happen. It's like that for a certain amount of reasons, but you know, it's just in order to basically defend myself and protect myself from getting physically and mentally hurt, most likely, because it's just, you know, can't handle that kind of pressure anymore. You know, I've been through it for the last like 21 years, which is really a long time, if I'm being honest. That's just the way it goes, unfortunately. But at the same time, I can actually change it for the better, because me changing it for the better is just gonna not only benefit me from like better things, but it's gonna benefit me into becoming more of a relaxful, if that's even a word, like a relaxing kind of person, so that I won't be able to go through the bad things again. But anyway, that's gonna conclude today's video. I'm gonna find like an upload date so that I can actually upload this. I'm actually thinking about uploading this on my niece's birthday coming up this week, this Friday. I'm basically going to be uploading this on the 4th, because this most likely could circulate on my own personal scale. I'm going to be making this a personal message to her, and the symbolism and justification that, like, on her birthday when I upload this. So I'm like, I'm just gonna let her know that this could potentially happen to her, which, you know, I hope it doesn't, because that's my niece and I will be there for her one day, obviously. It's like, I'll always be there for her. It's like a message, basically me telling her that if this ever happens, she could come back and look at this sometime when she's older, so that she won't go through the things that I went through, like personally, you know. It's just that I don't want her to go through this at all, you know. I just want to make sure that she lives a great life, does better things and great things for herself, and that she continues to live on for better purposes. That's all I'm going to leave for her. It's her 5th birthday coming up on Independence Day. And that is all I have for today. Bye, guys.